Oh, goody.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Zombies here again, and today we're back with a Snap deck tech and some games. So this is actually what I used to climb to Infinite this season. This was my first time hitting Infinite. Played a bit in the beta, but never really pushed too hard to climb. But I've been really loving this game, and just really wanted to get that cool card back for the season, as well as some of the season rewards. So this is what I used to climb to Infinite with. So I'm going to go over the cards real quick, then we're going to get into some games with it. These games were recorded on Halloween, which is the night I hit Infinite. So if you're wondering about the outfit in that video, that is why. So let's take a look at the cards. First off, Sunspot. So Sunspot, one of the best one drops in the game. I think he has really pulled his weight in this list. However, if you're looking for something else to try out in this spot, the Hood is a card I think I would definitely run in this deck if I had him. Fortunately, I have not opened him yet, so we are using Sunspot instead, and Sunspot's actually been really, really good, especially with the fact that we have things like armor to help protect him against things like Killmonger and Elektra. So very, very powerful card, and definitely helps kind of smooth out your game plan when you don't always have something to play on a given turn. Nova. So Nova, obviously not too much to say about Nova. We're just kind of running the Carnage Nova package. So you got Nova here, we have Bucky, and we have Carnage. Pretty self-explanatory here. Obviously both Nova and Bucky are very, very good cards with the Destroyer, as you can put them in a lane where, you know, you're not really sad if your stuff blows up. Nova has actually won me multiple games due to the fact that the Destroyer will take him out, especially if he's in a lane by himself, and will actually help enable our Warpath going back to +4 power, and that can definitely take some opponents off guard. But yeah, definitely really solid little package there. I very much enjoy Carnage. He's one of my favorite cards, and all three of them really pull their weight in this deck. Then Daredevil. So I really, really like this card. I actually wasn't playing when he got added to the season pass, so I got a little lucky opening him up already. But Daredevil is an amazing card in this deck. And there are two main reasons why he is so good, and that comes down to our 5-drops, which are Hobgoblin and Professor X. So the whole thing about Daredevil is on turn 5, you get to see your opponent's plays before you make your own, and that turns both Professor X and Hobgoblin into very, very powerful turn 5 plays, as there's no real risk of, you know, your opponent filling up their location so your Hobgoblin doesn't get thrown across the board, or, you know, you Professor X a lane that you end up losing. And another big thing here, especially why we're running X in specific, is because of how his lockdown ability works. The Destroyer does not actually blow up cards there, because the cards cannot be added or removed, which is pretty cool. Armor, this is just kind of hedging our Destroyer plan, where, you know, we're going to be going pretty hard with the Destroyer in one lane, and Armor helps us close out another lane so we actually don't get blown up, and like I said before, helps protect our Sunspot. Colossus is pretty good with the locations that, you know, negatively affect power. And on top of that, he does not get blown up by the Destroyer, so if we do have an armor lane being protected, you can use Colossus in combination with the Destroyer to get a decent amount of power. Cosmo. Cosmo is really, really good. This is, I think, one of the better tech cards in the game. A lot of cards have on-reveal abilities in this game, and a lot of those abilities are very strong. So not only does he shut down powerful opponent abilities in that lane, he also turns off our Destroyer ability. So if we don't have armor, if we don't have a way to protect our own guys, you can just play the Destroyer in the Cosmo lane, and then the effect just doesn't go off. On top of that, we really don't have a whole ton of on-reveal effects. Like, if you look through pretty much the whole deck here, we have Carnage, we have Hobgoblin, and we have Destroyer. And it's very easy to play those abilities or play those cards in lanes that Cosmo is not in, or in the Destroyer's case, that Cosmo is in. So doesn't really mess with our game plan, but can mess with the opponent's game plan a lot and helps make the Destroyer stronger. Then we have Warpath. So initially I was actually running Omega Red in this spot, which is another really cool card that I liked in this list. But overall, after playing a bunch of games with it, I do think Warpath was the smarter inclusion, and I think he definitely helped me push a bit higher to get that infinite. But basically, 9 power for 4 cost is very, very good. And in this deck, it's very easy for you to only have 2 full locations. Because even though there are a bunch of different locations that, you know, can add stuff to your board, or your opponent can, you know, Green Goblin you or Hobgoblin you, the nice thing about the Destroyer is he can just blow all that stuff up. And if you just have, you know, the Destroyer in one lane, armor protecting the other, you don't really have to worry about the stuff getting blown up in that other lane. So it's actually very easy to get him up to 9 power. So he's been very good. And again, since we have stuff like armor and Shang-Chi, or not Shang-Chi, because we have armor and Cosmo, it's kind of easy to protect him from getting Shang-Chi'd, which is kind of the main risk you run into when running cards over 9 or more power. Then we have Hobgoblin. This is definitely one where I'm not sure I would run this card without Daredevil. Daredevil really, really makes this card so much better because it kind of removes a lot of the risk on turn 5 when you're playing it. Now, I'm sure you can probably still do decent without Daredevil, but just having that extra sense of being assured, you know that you won't get screwed over where you're placing your Hobgoblin, has definitely made him feel like a very, very powerful part of the deck. And Professor X is kind of a similar thing. He's kind of our third piece here, where he helps prevent the opponent from kind of filling up a lane. He gets that easy lockdown for us. He's insanely powerful with Daredevil because you just kind of remove a whole lane from the equation for your opponent. So it goes from them having, you know, 3 options and only having to win 2 to basically having 2 options and having to win both of them, which is pretty hard to do when we only have to win 1 lane. So really, really powerful card, and Daredevil's just made him really, really consistent for me. On top of that, he just protects our whole lane. So we really don't have to worry about the opponent playing more cards there or Destroyer blowing up our own stuff. Pretty much the only thing you have to worry about are things like Thor, or other cards that can give stat increases to different lanes. And then last, but certainly not least, the namesake of the deck, the Destroyer. This card is nuts. This is the whole reason the deck works. It is pretty much one of the best power for cost in the game, and it shows. It is just a very, very strong effect. It is going to be winning us a majority of our games, and you basically want to practice how to kind of play it out in the most optimal way where you're not getting screwed over by his effect, because destroying your other cards is a pretty big downside. But like I said, with the other cards, there are a lot of ways to mitigate that downside, so it's really not a problem for us. And that's pretty sweet. Really, really fun card to play. It can be a little one-dimensional sometimes, like your opponent usually is going to be able to telegraph, you know, you're on a Destroyer deck and you're going to play Destroyer, but a lot of the times the deck is just powerful enough, and if you set it up right, it doesn't really matter if they know you're playing a Destroyer, because there's not too much they can do about it. So if you have this card, I highly, highly recommend checking out this deck if you want to push higher up in the ranks. It's a ton of fun to play. It is very effective. But yeah, we are going to get right on into the games here. Before we do, if you enjoy this type of content, remember to like and subscribe. Does a ton to help out the channel and keeps the videos coming. Without further ado, let's get into the games. Or like, you know, a cool variant of your favorite character, that's, you know, something to consider. But if you're purely focused on the gameplay, you want to unlock as many cards as you can, as fast as you can, then the refreshes are the best way to do it. Iceman, rude, but fine. They're probably going to get the raft before us. This might be a retreat. We'll see. This looks like a Cerebro deck.
Yeah, so if you're saving up for the credits, I would 100% recommend just doing the other thing instead and just going for the refresh. Also, it's a good point. Variants will come for free eventually. So their wave. Pretty sure we just do this. We can only play one card here. So they need something big, and we can also play something big, relatively. Thor, sure. Spectrum. It's fine. Ha, they retreated. Let's go. Victory. Almost at pool 2. Yeah. The collection level system needs a lot of work. I do think the collection level does need tweaking. 414? Yeah, so you've got about another, I think it's 474, I want to say, that you get out of there. Ooh, you got a collector skin? Nice. They're snapping. All right. I actually recognize this name from Mercenaries. I wonder if it's the same guy. All right, so they definitely didn't put real. So real Mysterio is on the right here because there's no shot you put real Mysterio here. So we're gonna do this. Cool. Yeah, I don't have a link, but here, I'll give one to chat. I will provide one to chat. Here we go. So there you can see it's 486 is actually the correct number. That's when you get into pool 3. Shoots. I'm gonna snap here. I'm pretty sure we can win the left and middle. Because Bucky will die, give us a thing. Nova will die, pump our team, and then we can play Professor X on 5 in the middle, and Professor X does not die to Death's Domain, and then Destroyer in left. Yeah, I don't even care that they killed our Sunspot. I don't give a fuck. Hey, what's up, Wombat? I actually think, you think collector's caches are bad? Collector's reserves are down to 25%. But on average, most players will get there at, I believe it is 3,000 collector level. Also, for anyone who wants to know the exact rates of all the stuff you can pull, I have a video here on my alternate YouTube channel going over all the rates for season, collector, and the other caches. This is an easy win for us, I'm pretty sure. Because they'll have 5. Yeah, this is an easy win for us. No shot they win this. Give us those 8 cubes, dude. Come on. You know you want to. Give us the 8 cubes. Yeah, play that death. Play that death. I think it's gonna win you the game. Omega lol, dude. Get the fuck out of here. Whew. Let's go. 3 or 5? I don't remember the amount. 5K. Yeah, it's 5. Okay, not 3. Yeah, I did not remember that. We have Galactus, which is kind of funny. Is it good? I don't know. But it's certainly funny. Yeah, ranking up definitely takes a while.
Avengers! Assemble.
All right, very good. That didn't go in the left lane. I don't want to fill up my locations with garbage. Colossus is definitely not garbage, though.
Assemble.
Seeing their play here is very pog. Because this will determine if we should, like, snap or retreat. Sarah. Interesting. If we get Destroyer, it should end it, I think. Oh, they have double cost reduction? That's yikes. Kraven's cool. Kraven is cool. I'm a believer, chat. I'm a believer. Let's fucking go, dude.
Iron Man.
Oh wait, no, is this not a W? No, it is a W. Alright, cool. Whew. So the reason we won that, even though we tied on the right, is because we had more power here, they had less power on the left. They were only ahead by 3, we were ahead by 8. Got to keep the mental safe to win this last game. And then we're good. And then we're good. And then we can play literally whatever we want. Armor, sure. I'm not bothered by that. Interesting. All right, so they're a Cerebro deck probably. I'm gonna do this. Storm. Okay, this is 100% a Cerebro deck. Yeah, instant snap into retreat 2 cubes. Yeah, right. I know. Don't get me wrong. There's some temptation here to do that. Actually, I think the smart move is playing this left. They are 100% a, I think I'm going to snap them here. Because Cosmo will shut off their Cerebro. Or not their Cerebro, their Mystique, so they can't double Cerebro. Double Cerebro is how they win this game. Retreat, coward. Retreat. Or better yet, pass, then retreat. Give us that juicy infinite. Daredevil is so good. Alright, they retreated. Alright. Only 1 cube, though. Only 1 cube. We need 1 more. 1 more. Cerebro. Your highest power cards get +2 power. So they were building their deck around having the same number of power on all their cards, so that way they can play this card, and then it buffs all their other guys. And yeah, if there are any cards you see during the game that you don't know, you can just type in !card and then the card name, and it'll tell you the information. Discarding Destroyer sucks. That's not very pog. It's not very pog at all. We can still win, though. Looks like they're kind of a high rolly discard deck. Random card to hand isn't actually that bad. Yeah, Cerebro's cool. Cerebro's very cool. Pretty sure we just do this. So Ebony Maw is a ton of power for a 1-drop, but you can't play cards in that location. But we're okay with not playing cards in this location because we have Sunspot. This actually could be the game, chat. This could be the game. I'm snapping them. Why didn't I drop Colossus? Mainly because I like just pumping the Sunspot, though I guess the other one would have been more power in retrospect. This is fine, though. I think we're actually in a fine position here just to pass. Because if they're on reveals that they could play their dude for 12, which will get them to 18, which Sunspot will beat. If they play a thing that gives them a thing in the other lane, we don't care because we're trying to beat left lane, so we're just gonna go for it. Chavez. Let's go, dude. That's the infinite. Let's fucking go.
Victory.
Bam! We got there. And now we can play whatever the fuck we want because we are infinite.